In this video, I wanted to use Suno Studio and actually swap out my vocals on a track and see if we can add some elements. Hey everyone, Barry from Music Tech Info. Hope you're doing well today. So this has been on my mind a little bit in terms of being able to alter one of my existing tracks. So if I go to, let me have a think. If I go to the Create section and I'm going to upload audio. So I'm going to just do this in here. Now you could do this in Suno Studio Direct, but I'm just going to do it in Suno for now. So I've got my track here called Rejection. Okay, so I'm just going to literally navigate to, can I just drag and drop instead? Because it's been a while since I've actually done this. There we go. So what I'm going to do is, the idea of this video is I'm going to upload a full track that I've produced solely by myself before with my own vocals. I'm then going to extract the stems of it within Suno Studio. I'm then going to go into Suno Studio and try and change the voice to maybe female or something like that. So we'll just give it a second to upload. And while it's doing that, if you're interested in content like this, make sure you subscribe, guys. I feature Suno, Udio. I've been talking about Spotify because they're on about creating their own AI music generator with a collab of the labels, as well as OpenAI is now apparently working on something similar as well to compete with Suno. I also look at more ethical platforms with only copyright-free models. So yeah, make sure you check that out. What I love about Suno is how damn fast it is. I mean, it's really quick. I mean, it's already done the image art for us. If I click on the track now, I mean, look, it's extracted the stems for us automatically. So that's so cool. And it's even given a description that it's an electronic dance piece with a driving tempo of 128 beats per minute in the key of A minor. That's so cool. So cool. So yeah, Suno Studio is just amazing at doing this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click on these three dots. And what I want to do, I could do this within Suno Studio because it makes sense. So I'm going to go to the Remix Edit button here and go to Open in Studio. That's just going to bring up Suno Studio now. So proud to have been the first YouTuber to actually feature this product because I worked with Suno on like a exclusive early access thing with them, which was just so cool. So we've got our full track now, and what we're going to do is we're going to extract the stems. So when you do this, you've got two choices of everything or just vocals and instrumentals. So I'm going to choose everything just because it's a lot more visual. We could remove certain elements then if we wanted to. And we are in beta version 1, as a reminder. This is the worst it's going to get. Some people are upset about the MIDI export at the moment, and I personally think just bear with it. Hopefully we'll see some improvements, and that's really why I've only done one video about MIDI extraction so far. And I get why music producers really want accurate export of MIDI from their generations. I get it, I really get it, but it's, in terms of accuracy, it's not quite there yet from people's opinion. I mean, I had quite a good export from it from my point of view. Now, what's great about Suno Studio, for example, is it's only going to export the instruments that it hears. So it went from like 6 or 7 instruments then down to just 4. And what you can do is you can download them. You can download them as WAV if you want to, or you can just click on Insert All. Also, some people say, what is the best extraction of stems? Well, what am I doing? What is the best extractions of stems if you're using Suno? What tool is the best? And the answer to that is Suno itself. If you extract the stems within Suno from a generation that you've created in Suno, Suno's going to be the best. Okay. There are many other options for you. For example, I also use RipX, which is really amazing digital audio workstation, which allows you to extract stems and alter almost on MIDI form any kind of audio generation. So yeah, there are other options out there. There's like 11 Labs, there's La, quite a few different tools. But yeah, if you're using Suno, it makes sense to extract the stems within Suno for the best accuracy. So let's have a quick listen to this track. Okay, so I'm just going to hit play down the bottom. So you can hear you've got quite a lot of bass, the drums coming in with synth.
Rejection.
Okay. Going to come up to the main intro part now. Interesting. It's extracted that song really well, but I just heard diffusion on the cymbals then in just that last part. That's interesting because that's kind of like Suno's interpretation of this actual track. People are going to say, right, this is a big topic right now. People are going to say, hang on, you've just uploaded one of your tracks into Suno. So from the terms of service, that means that they could use your track to train their model in future models. Now, there was an interview done by the CEO and he basically said, we're not going to do that. I think why they're not going to do that, even though it's in the terms of service. They could do that. That's the important thing. So if you're a musician or a producer and you're worried about that, don't do it, okay? But if you're okay about it, like myself, then that's fine. The CEO has said that they're not going to train uploaded content to train their data. I presume because there could be a load of rubbish being uploaded, right? And that could really affect their future models. That's personally my thought around it anyway. So let's carry on just a bit more, because I want you to hear at least a verse and then just the start of the chorus.
Wished I forgot you. I knew you were so wrong.
And I'm doing this because you need to understand how the vocals come out like now, just before I start regenerating to see how accurate it is.
Wished I forgot you. I knew you were so wrong. You kept on teasing me, but I wasn't that strong. Ooh, your world is so empty, and mine is so good. And I always have to protect me, because you are so wrong.
Okay, so that's verse 1, okay? So now we're coming up to the chorus now.
Rejection is futile. You mean it. You lost me. Rejection is futile. You mean it. You lost me.
Ooh, interesting effect there. Okay, so that should give you an idea. That's the intro, the verse 1 and verse 2. There is consistency with the remaining part of the track, apart from the middle 8 section. So let me see if I can quickly find you that, because that's going to be interesting, because that's a real test for Suno.
I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way. I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way.
Okay, so that's the middle 8, right? So it's a little different. So what we're going to do, we're going to click on Add Track down the bottom. We're going to rename it, call it New Vocals. Now, this is where it's going to be interesting, I think, personally. So we're going to just select the whole region, okay? And I'm interested to see, first of all, if it can do a good job with backing vocals. So I'm going to choose on here. I'm going to choose song and change that to backing vocals. Now what you could do, in fact, which might make more sense, is maximize. So I'm going to maximize. I'm going to choose backing vocals. We've got lyrics in here. We've got advanced options as well. So I'm going to use audio influence as, let's go with 85%. Style influence as 50. Weirdness as, I normally drop that, to be fair, because I don't want too much hallucinations going on. So we've got, then we can go back to the lyrics, and then we can actually paste the lyrics back in. Now I may have to go, I'm just going to use OneNote for this. There we go. And I'm going to copy the lyrics, because I already had them anyway in the background, but I could use them from the extracted Suno lyrics, if you remember seeing those. And I'm going to click on Create. Now I could have just done a small segment in terms of that if I really wanted to, but because I want backing vocals on the entire track, it's going to be interesting to see what it actually does. Now there is kind of overlapping with Suno Studio, something to bear in mind at the moment, which is the fact that if you just ask for it to do strings, it can try and do extra elements as well, like the entire track sometimes, and it makes it sound so much better. But if you only ask for strings, you don't always get strings. So just be conscious that we are still in beta, okay? So I'm just going to unmaximize that now, and I'm just going to see what options I actually have on this. So I do have a remix selection. So if I click on remix selection, just while it's generating the top. Okay, great. So what it's done now, it's put the lyrics in for us automatically. And what I'm going to do here in the style, I'm just going to put in female and keep it as vocals. Let's just actually check the advanced options with the maximize button again. Yeah, that should be good. And I'm going to click replace. So now what we should have, and the good thing about this is that there is a bit of an audit trail with this, so you can go back, you can undo if you what you've just done, you're like, oh my god, it's just ruined it. You can go back and just do that. So I'm going to minimize that now and see how it's getting on. Now, can you see for these backing vocals, in fact, let me just call it backing, new backing. I like to put new on everything that I've done for like generation. Can you see it's actually visually showing us what it's generating? So it's at this point right now. So cool. Now it's going to be interesting to see whether it's only done vocals, okay? And then we've also got vocals down here. Obviously, it's going to remix those vocals. Doing a good job by the look of it. And it gives you two different versions. So you got two different takes. If I click on that, you'll see you've got two different versions of it, right? So if I, how am I going to do this? Let me mute, which is just that button there. Let me just mute the new generation of vocals, and let's just have a look at backing and the track on its own, see how this sounds. I'm intrigued actually. Okay, let me just solo this. Told you. See, it's overlapped loads of instruments and that kind of thing. So what you can do is you can extract the stems from this. But let's have a listen to it first, see what it's produced. Wow. Wow. Suno never ceases to amaze me, guys.
Wished I forgot you. I knew you were so wrong. You kept on teasing me.
Oh my god.
But I wasn't that strong. Ooh.
Now, before I continue, yes, I am aware it's put a load of stuff in there. And that's not what we wanted, is it? We got some errors coming up from the new generation of the remix, so we're just going to have to ignore that for now. So it's just reverted back to what it was. So that can happen because we're still in beta, so just be conscious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extract the stems of this so that we can have a proper listen to what it's actually doing. So yeah, let's carry on listening.
I wasn't that strong.
Wow.
Ooh, your world is so empty, and mine is so good.
Got the emotion in the vocals.
And I always have to protect me because you are so wrong.
Interesting.
Rejection is futile.
I love the chords that it's chosen.
I wasn't that
Wow.
strong. Rejection is futile. You mean it. You blocked me. Rejection is futile. You mean it. You blocked me.
Wow.
Life is so complicated.
Oh my god, that's done such a good job. Let's have a listen to the middle 8.
I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way.
Oh my god, that's so good. The harmonies that it's done. Oh, it's so good.
I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way. I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way. I'm telling you.
Oh my god. So what he's done now is extracted the stem. So I'm going to click insert all. So it's going to be a bit full on now because we're going to have a lot of stuff going on. So it has detected a lot of instruments. I think, anyway. Yeah, new backing vocals, guitar, bass, drums. I mean, what it's done, it's created an entire track from, yeah, up to there. So it's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's done, where's the vocals? Yeah, it's done 7 stems it's added in. That's crazy. So as a producer now, what I'd be doing is I'd be going through and saying, okay, do I really like that bass that it's added? We can do a bit of that now. For example, there's quite a lot of effects. So let's have a listen to the effects at the beginning. Okay, now on its own, right, you'd be like, that's no good. But when you blend it with the music and you listen to the music, you're like, oh my god. So I'm going to put my vocals back in. Now, what I really feel that Suno Studio could do with at the moment is like a mixing desk. Now, I know you've got control over here, but when you're reviewing music, it can be really helpful to have it like in the mixing view, just so that you can kind of visualize everything in one screen. You can change the layout, so maybe we have a look at doing that. I don't think it's going to be the same. No, it's not really. It just moves, changes the window. Remember, you can press 1 to bring up your creation of generations if you want to do that. 2 is all of your stems, your tracks. 3 is obviously your Suno Studio, and 4 is the details pane. So just a bit of a reminder in terms of that. I'm just amazed what it's done. Let's have a listen in terms of a little bit of a duet, shall we? So let's have a listen to where the vocals start. Okay, it zoomed in a bit for me automatically, which I didn't expect it to do. So let's have a listen to see how well it's blended in the female vocal with my own. Okay, there are issues with this track, and I can tell you that now. What I've noticed in some of the generations, it can skip a couple of beats. That then has a huge impact on the rest of your track. So because of that, it's probably not going to be as usable as I originally thought. It means me having to splice, which what I mean by that is you right click and split the stems and actually manually cutting the parts that it skipped. So or extending out, which may need to be the case. So yeah, if it was a brand new track on its own without my original stems, then I think that would be fine. But because it has skipped a beat or two, there are going to be issues with this track, which is a big shame. So I think what we're going to do, if I remove all of this stuff in terms of just muting it all, and we're just going to keep the vocals in, yeah, we're back to normal. So all we've got now is the new vocals and the new backing vocals, and let's just see how it sounds. Okay, so I've already just faded that in by just using that button down here. So let's have a listen now.
Rejection.
Love that. Turning down the backing a bit because it's a bit too much. Oh no, that is the vocal, sorry.
I wished I forgot you.
Good.
I knew you were so kept on teasing me, but I wasn't that strong.
Okay, so what I can do, right? So we were okay about.
I wished I forgot you. I knew you were so wrong. You kept on teasing me, but I was.
There we go. So it skipped a beat. Can you tell?
Kept on teasing me.
So this is gonna be a little tricky, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in.
Teasing me.
Where are we?
You were
Before then.
but
Here.
kept on teasing me.
Right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna literally zoom in a bit more. I need it to be a little more accurate. There. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna right click and split that out. And I'm gonna zoom in a bit more. It just takes a bit of practice, I guess, to edit this stuff out. Right, and I'm gonna move this to about there. Let's have a listen now.
Teasing me.
Still too quick. Still too quick. You can use the visual element as like a reference point, and that should help. Bearing in mind, she can change the flow a bit, so it can be tricky.
Kept on teasing me.
Okay, so that bit didn't work.
Kept on
So what I'd have to do is I'd have to split on here, and then I'd have to drag this back a bit.
teasing me.
Okay, I'd have to work with that. Not completely happy with that, but still.
But I wasn't that strong.
Okay, that's worked.
Ooh, your world is so empty, and mine is so good.
There.
And I
Can you see it's done it again? So again, we're just going to split it here, and we're just going to move that to here, and
I always have to protect me.
that's a bit off.
And
Oh, I think I did the wrong one there, didn't I? Hang on, bear with me.
And I
Yeah, I didn't me instead. Me. Let me put that back.
and I
It's this one I should be splitting. There we go. Honestly, it's just practice, guys.
And I always have to protect me, because you are so wrong.
What's amazing about Suno Studio, we didn't have this control before. I couldn't have done that before. So this is why some producers are absolutely loving Suno Studio. This is groundbreaking compared to where we were just a couple of months ago. And it's only going to get better, right? I mean, there's going to be more functionality added, I can see in the future. It's just going to get better and better. And I appreciate some people may be saying, well, hang on, this is quite a bit of work. If you produce original tracks, you understand what work really is.
You are so wrong. Rejection is futile. You mean it. You blocked me. Rejection.
Okay, she's a little off there. So we're just gonna... Let me find out where the start of that is. The reason why, if I start moving that, it's going to affect what was done before. But if I split it, then it's not going to have that much of an impact in terms of what was done before. So let me just move this over a little bit.
You mean it.
Better.
You blocked me. Rejection is futile. You mean it. You
So in my head, I'm each couple of bars, I'm going tick, tick, tick. That's fine. Tick, tick. And you do that, and then you review it again, and then you'll be like, that little bit's wrong. I'm gonna have to redo that bit. And you just keep working with the track. You know, you can use version control, so you could say like version 1, and you can do a duplicate project if you really want to, which it really helps. Might be that you want to share it if you're dealing with other people. So there's just so much to this, guys. I just think it's absolutely brilliant. So pleased with what it can do, but obviously there are elements of things that you may need to strip out, alter. Now, interestingly, what I could do and you continue doing this in the entire track, what you could do then is you could see where you've split it and repeat that on the other sections, on these other stems, if you wanted to include those. Or it may be that you just want to go with the new generation as a brand new track anyway. But that's pretty much how you can work with the track. So I'll just do a little bit more, guys.
Rejection is
And what I can do is I can mute myself completely.
rejection is futile. You mean it. You blocked me. Rejection is futile. You mean it. You blocked me.
Imagine how much money you'd have to pay someone to do that. You know, a session vocalist to maybe come into your studio and have to do that. It's incredible. It's absolutely mind-blowing, to be perfectly honest. If you're happy with it, what you can also do, you can just mark it with just a split, and then you know
And
that's
you
okay.
didn't help me. I gave you everything. You sent nothing back to me. Ooh, I'm in a false level of security. I made myself vulnerable.
Okay, she's a bit ahead there. So what I could do is have a listen to my version as well. So bringing me just back in.
Ooh, I'm in a false level of security.
Okay, again, we're just gonna go back a bit.
You sent nothing back.
Yeah, she's a little early again. Have you noticed? So, and that's the thing, when you hear something in a certain part, you need to consider what was there before and think, do I need to change anything before this as well? So if I move that to about there.
And you didn't help me. I gave you everything. You sent nothing back to me. Ooh, I'm in a false level of security.
Okay, she's a bit early again, so I'd probably... Nah.
Ooh, I'm in a false level of security.
Okay, it's about there, I think. And you have to make these decisions, you know? I wish... This annoys me when it does this. Bear with me. I need to split. Split. There you go. Move this a bit more to there.
Security, I made myself vulnerable. Now I'm not so comfortable, and I'll get back to you.
Wow, so good.
And I will block you. I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you.
Okay, so if I just put the backing vocals and her vocals on. Whoa, sorry, that's not quite worked. There. Oh, solo is literally just 1 or 2 tracks. That's a bit annoying because I want to mute everything but these two. Okay, let's switch me off.
I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We're going to split this. In fact, have we got much beforehand? And I hope this helps you guys understand what needs to be done with the track. So I can delete that section there because there's nothing in it, right? And what I thought, again, this is why Suno Studio is great, because you got this visual element so you can align things up. And I think if you use the shift key or the control key, it's even more accurate when you're dragging and dropping. So we're just going to move this to here.
I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way. I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way.
Perhaps it was right to begin with. If I just mute some of these stems manually, let's try again. I love what it's done with the backing. It's just making sure the timing's right.
I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way. I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way. I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you.
be that way. I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way, be that way, be that way.
Rejection.
Amazing. That's done such a good job. And it's very difficult to tell that with all of these, all of my other stems going on. But now I can bring them back in because I know that timing's absolutely spot on. So sometimes you might have to isolate these tracks. For people that this really isn't going to suit your music style, I apologise. I do synth pop, synthwave material. If you are interested, check out myself as Cyber Monday on Spotify, Bandcamp, cybermondaymusic.com. I love making music. I've done it since the age of 5. I mean, this is just groundbreaking. It's just so cool.
I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way. I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way. I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way.
I actually think my timing was out now.
I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way.
I'm telling you what you might say. I fell in love with you. Be that way. Be that way. Be that way.
Rejection is futile.
By the way, if I sing along and I seem out of time, that's because there's a delay with OBS, my recording software, as well as this. So I am actually singing in time. It's the fact that when I watch back the video, I'm like, oh. So yeah, interesting. So yeah, we're close to the end now, guys, in terms of the vocal. And do you know what I personally do? I'll do a duet version. I go to, when I'm happy with it, I'll go to export, go to full song, right? You can go to multitrack if you want to extract those stems within Suno Studio. When you do full song, it takes it back to the library. So you then go to the library and you can download it as a WAV. But I'd also do a female solo version of that track as well as a duet. And I may look at the other elements as well. So if you remember, there was a lot of really cool stuff going on that we haven't even reviewed yet. So if I switch these off, in fact, we'll need to leave her on really. Put her back on and check out all of the new stems that it's created, because that blew me away. That's just one version as well. There is another version. You could have a listen. That guitar.
I wished I forgot you. I knew you were so wrong.
Piano.
You kept on teasing me,
That's a bit off there.
but I wasn't.
And then it goes out of time because I haven't done the splits of that. So yeah, it may have been easier to just do a brand new track from that upload. So yeah, I hope that's helped, guys. Give a bit more insight into working with Suno Studio. Make sure you give it a like. Let me know what you think in the comments. Always appreciate this community. We're over 7,000 subscribers now on this channel, which is just amazing. And I had a report come through, an email, to say that, this channel's been going 4.5 years and it's had over 750,000 views. So that is absolutely outstanding and it blows my mind completely. It really does. So thanks for watching. Always appreciate it. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.